live. Let me know if you can see me, you can hear me. Guys, welcome to day 5. I was so confused earlier, but we're already on day 5. This has gone by so fast.
I know, time flies when you're having fun, and we are definitely having fun here on the summit. The past few days have been a lot of fun, and today we have an extra special treat for you guys.
I am so excited. We are joined with Regina Enejano, who's going to be talking about creating and outlining your course. She is the expert when it comes to this. I know so many of you guys have had questions of how do I actually create my course? How do I make it good? How do I make people enjoy it? So Regina, I'm so excited to have you here. We're going to just pass it over to you and get our notepads ready to go.
Yay! Can you guys hear me in the chat? Let me know. I am so excited. This is one of my favorite topics. Absolutely love talking about this. And I'm actually just going to start with the screen share and jump right in. And I promise I will introduce myself in just a moment as well. So let me see, first off, if this is working.
And also, while you're doing that, if anyone is seeing anything be blurry, any text be fuzzy, hover over the gear icon in the bottom right of the video and change the resolution to 720p HD.
Yep, and I'll give some instructions in the chat. But again, if anything is blurry, just mouse over the gear icon on the video and then change the resolution to 720p HD.
Yeah, okay, so let me know, everyone in the chat, if you are seeing some slides, my curly hair face, and it says outline, organize, and execute a memorable course. Hopefully that's what you guys are seeing.
Looking good to us, Jess.
Yeah, all right. So you guys, please, everyone in the chat, all the humans in the chat, please feel free to chime in with questions. I'm definitely watching the chat as I'm presenting, but I'll try to stay on topic so that we can get through all of this material in this short time, because I'm really excited about this. So by the end of this session, my hope is that you will know how to create a central course planning hub, and I'll explain what that is. But basically, this is what's going to help you execute on your mission to fully develop and launch your course. So for anyone who's just kind of been like, but how do I, you know, just that kind of feeling, don't worry, I've got you in this session. Also, I hope that you will be able to understand how to outline your course in the smartest way ever. You'll see what I'm talking about in a second. Know how to create a proper style guide for your course, and know the types of collateral that are going to make the promotion of your course epic. And then hopefully I want you guys to have laughed out really loud at something said in the chat. I always know that these chats with these live teachable events are hilarious. So yes, Bria says, I love the chat. Gets crazier and crazier each session. Yes, definitely. So hopefully we'll laugh some and learn some. All right, so just really quickly, why are we having this session? I'm so Jackson said that's literally me, right? That feeling of, but how do I actually, okay, we're gonna do that. We're doing all of that today, guys. Okay, so why are we having this session? Teachable was so awesome to invite me because this is something I love to talk about. The reason I put this together in this way is because I feel we need more teachers who are truly concerned about teaching material online in the best way possible. We need more teachers and less scammers. And one way I know how to help with this change that I want to see in the internet, if you will, is to make it easier for people like you, humans like you, to share your skills and your knowledge for a profit. So I want to get you started. I really feel like you guys could probably plan your course and get going in a weekend after you watch this, I promise. So get ready to take some screenshots and take some notes, okay? This training is the best starting place I could imagine for developing a very engaging and helpful course. And I know that's like a big statement to have the best up there, but you guys, honestly, I think it's a really good starting point. So just so you know a little bit about me, I am Regina. I call myself a part-time hippie. I'm a registered yoga teacher. I live here in Playa del Carmen, Mexico. I have been writing and teaching and publishing online full-time for quite a few years now, but I had multiple businesses and multiple passions, just like I'm sure some of you have had as well. So I had a creative writing blog. I had an in-person cleaning business as opposed to like a not in-person cleaning business. Anyway, did t-shirts in person, did cupcakes in person. Then I moved to full-time freelance writing. I had graphic design business where I made wedding invitations and nonprofit invitations. Then I did web design. So I've done a lot. And I've definitely enjoyed learning how to make different business models profitable. But one of the things that I've loved the most is being able to teach for a profit. And so I've narrowed down, and I really only now help people who want to teach online through books, workshops, and courses. Okay. So wait, Travis said I just laughed out loud. Okay, good. The chat is already popping, you guys. I'm so excited. All right. I only have one quick question for you guys, and then we'll hop into the main material, okay? So the question here is, how much additional income each month would be absolutely life-changing for you right now? Online cleaning business, says Jean. Yes, exactly, right? Like, what is that? Anyway, how much additional income each month would be absolutely life-changing for you right now? Hi, Nicole. Oh my gosh, Celine. So no matter what your answer is, it can, no matter small, large, whatever, it's fine. Just tell us the truth in the chat if you don't mind. You don't have to share. But for me, when I was on like a super, okay, like, yes, look at this. Great. You guys are answering amazingly. I'm all thinking in pesos since I'm in Mexico right now, but we'll just assume these are all dollars. Oh, perfect. Marcia says $1 million. Oh my gosh, I can't with you, Marcia. Anyway, when I was super broke McBrokerton, even an extra $100 would have meant like additional groceries and so much less stress in my life. And so here's the deal, you guys. I'm not here to like, you know, tell you about how I made my first 7 figures in courses. Great story, but what I'm here to tell you about is when you're first getting started. Let's talk a little bit more about what things are like when you're first getting started, right? I know, Amanda, this chat is crazy. So I'm gonna ask you to guess something. About a month after I started buyregina.com. Now keep in mind, you guys, I showed you all of my past, you know, or not all of it, but a lot of my past businesses. So this wasn't my first business, but it was a month after I started my current site, buyregina.com. I released my first paid online course. And I want you guys to take a guess how much it made each month for the first 4 months it existed. And keep in mind, ooh, look at you. I like your guess. Keep in mind, I had 71 people on my email list. Travis says 1K. Mad says first 4 months, 8K. Anthony, oh, what's up? Anthony, he says 10K. Christopher says $100. Love these guesses. Kim says 75. Okay, perfect. I won't keep you in suspense because I know you guys came here to learn. $1 gazillion. Cameron, you win the prize, which is getting to host a session with me today. No, okay, anyway. It was $1,000 per month, you guys. And so it was like maybe $1,350 the first month, and then maybe around $900 the second month, something like this. And so it averaged out to about $1,000 per month. And so again, what I want you to keep in mind is that I had 71, the number that comes after 70, which comes after 69. That is it. That's all I had on my email list. And to Magali, I don't know if I'm saying your name correctly, your question of how much did I charge, it was $75 when it was first released, and that was discounted from $150. So it was $75 for the first few people who joined, and then it was $150 for everyone who joined afterwards. So you guys, I say this because I am not here for this make 7 figures next week, even if you don't have the internet kind of stuff that's going on online. Who has seen the Facebook ad that tells you can make 6 figures starting tomorrow without the internet and no email us, right, Jess?
Oh, we all have, I think.
Yeah. So, but what I want to encourage you is that it doesn't take a magic wand and 17 months of work and 7,000 fans to build meaningful courses, you guys. And this is coming from somebody who's a yoga instructor and a business instructor. I've created a course on creativity. So I'm not just speaking about the business niches, okay? Aw, thank you, Anthony. Okay, so let's get started. Again, just keep that in mind. I'm not doing the 7-figure stuff right now. We're talking about what it would be like to build 1,000 or more each month. Irene, thank you. Let's make 7 figures. Exactly, Tori. Okay, so this is freedom, you guys. Whatever the number was that you said in the chat, that's what freedom is. It's what it actually is for each of us individually. Freedom is not necessarily whatever the Facebook ads are telling you. You don't have to sip a Mai Tai on a beach if you don't want to, but that could be freedom for you. You don't have to make 7 figures if you don't want to. It could be 6 figures. It could be whatever. So set your goals for you, and then we're going to figure out how to smash them. Okay. Are we ready? This is what we're doing. We're going to talk about how to create your course hub. We're going to talk about how to outline your course like Einstein. That is not a typo. We're really going to think just like Einstein today. We're going to set up your course. One of the things I do is I speak English in a very weird way sometimes, you guys, because I spend all day speaking Spanish. And then I'm like, is this a real word when I talk sometimes? So anyway, set up your course collateral headquarters. Got it. And then we're going to talk about how to develop your course style guide and then add a promotion plan to your hub. So you'll see what the hub is in a second. But basically your hub is going to be the thing that allows you to plan and execute on your course. Okay, so let's talk about this. This is literally going to change your life. And if you know me at all, you know that I am overly dramatic all the time as a natural state of being. Oh, thank you for saying nice slide design, Jen, just for you guys. But I really mean it this time. This is going to change your life if you're trying to create a meaningful course, okay? So it is your course hub. It's not just a planning center. It's actual magic, all right? Don't believe me, just watch. Here we go. So I say screenshot this, FR, for real. If you guys are live today, I don't know who else would be listening to me, but whatever. If you guys are live right now, screenshot this or write this down because this is going to be amazing, okay? So first off, in your course hub, you're going to have your course outline, and I'm going to teach you how to make that the Einstein way. Second thing is your course collateral headquarters. The third thing is your style guide. The fourth thing is your promotion plan. The fifth thing is all of your course content. Even if you're using a super reliable service like Teachable, which is what I use to host all of my courses, I definitely have a backup of my course content, all the lessons, all the videos, etc., in another place as well, okay? Number 6, maintenance and feedback plan. I'll explain that. Number 7, your community management hub. And then number 8, a running task list, okay? I know, Dion, exactly. I tried not to sing Bruno Mars for you guys, but anyway. All right, so this is your course hub. Take your screenshots, take your screenshots. We are switching, boom. All right, so it can look as simple as this, you guys. I'll show you some other tools that I recommend, but this is Google Drive, and this is my course hub for Going Vegan 301. That's not actually the final name of this, but whatever. The ultimate 3-month guide to making a transition, okay? So we might have some folders, we might have some documents going on. It can look as simple as a Google Drive folder, and I'll explain this more in just a second, but it can be a very simple thing, but the key with a course hub is that you have everything you need in one place so that you're never looking around like, what am I supposed to do next? Or where is that one thingamajig? It will all be in your course hub, okay? Oh, awesome, Bria. Okay, so for your hub, you can use tools such as Google Drive, like we just saw. You can use Evernote, you can use OneNote, you can use Asana, Trello, or any organization app that you are a fan of, really. Kristen, you said you already love this. You guys, y'all are so amazing. Okay, so any of these tools will work. Let me show you how to build it, all right? The first thing we're gonna do is put a very detailed course outline inside of our course hub. You guys, I cannot stress enough, how important your outline is. Please take this from someone who has been, I've been teaching in-person courses for years. I've been teaching online for a few years. I'm sure you guys are already smart. You already know this. Your outline is going to be where not only your material comes from, but it's going to help you when you're ready to promote. Oh, which sections should I, promote? What can I share? How can I give away a lot without giving away too much? Having a really detailed outline is actually going to answer all of that, okay? So anyway, we're gonna outline our course the really, really, really super duper, uber smart way, like Einstein level smart, okay? So the reason we're gonna do, or the way we're gonna do this like Einstein is we're going to stop and ask ourselves if we're even trying to answer the right questions. Are you even trying to solve the right problem? So I sent out this email several weeks ago to my list, and I was talking about the pet adoption dilemma, for example. And basically with pet adoption dilemma in the States, in the United States, there's this huge dilemma where there are so many animals being abandoned each year and there are not as many people adopting these pets into homes. And so, people will run these campaigns and you'll see this cute, innocent puppy on a billboard and it's like, come adopt this puppy. And so much money was being spent to try to ramp up people being motivated to adopt pets. And this was how people were trying to solve the pet adoption dilemma. And then somebody looks at it and goes, are we even solving the right problem? Why are there so many abandoned pets? And so what they did instead was started asking families who were, abandoning their pet at a shelter or leaving their pet at a shelter. So that's not abandoning, excuse me. They were asking families, hey, if you had some financial assistance or if you had some more information, would you actually want to keep your pet? And 75% of people were saying, yes, I would want to keep our pet. And so they found out the pet adoption dilemma really was starting on the other end. Too many pets were being placed up for adoption, and that was something that was manageable, and you could actually put money into that end of the spectrum to solve the problem. So this is just a quick example of, are we even trying to answer the right questions? And so Einstein said something like this. The internet has 52 different versions of this, and so I didn't want to quote exactly, but it basically goes something like this, okay? If I had an hour to solve a problem, I'd spend 55 minutes thinking about the problem and then 5 minutes thinking about solutions. And this is the way I want to encourage you guys to outline as well. Really, really thinking about the problem. A lot of the times, I'll have people come to me. Most of what I do online is helping people with their business. And I'll have people come and they'll be like asking questions like, should I sign up for ConvertKit or ActiveCampaign or MailChimp or MailerLite? Have you seen these questions happening in like Facebook communities you're a part of? Which service should I sign up for? Blah, 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 blah. And the reality, when I see that question, instead of going and creating, the ultimate guide to ConvertKit versus ActiveCampaign versus MailChimp versus MailerLite versus Infusionsoft instead of doing that, I realize the person is probably not having a tools problem as much as they're having a problem not knowing what they would do once they started with that service. It's, how do I list build is really the question that the person is asking a lot of the times. Now, I'm not saying every single time listen to your customers ask you questions and go, I know better. What they really mean is this. I'm not saying do that every single time, but I am saying when you're planning a full-on whole, gonna take, a weekend, a month, 3 months of your life kind of course, make sure that you are answering the right question, because people might not need to know whether they should go with ConvertKit or ActiveCampaign. They might need to know how to list build to begin with. Does that kind of make sense? Let me know in the chat if I'm making any sense. Oh, by the way, we're new to each other, so I might need to explain to you guys. Sometimes I sing, sometimes I speak in accents. It'll be okay. Don't worry about it if you hear some random stuff come out, okay?
That's my favorite part.
Yes, okay, don't worry. That's probably coming. All right, perfect. Y'all are saying it makes sense. Awesome. So how to outline your course. And again, we're doing this the Einstein way. And I would screenshot this as well, you guys, if you've never done my outlining process before. Thank you, MJ. Look at you guys. You are so adorable. I love it. Okay, so I'll briefly explain this and you can just review your screenshot later. But this is how I would recommend doing it. After we did the first part of putting on our Einstein thinking cap and using more of our brain or whatever his wonderful special skill was, and made sure that we're really asking the question that people would be willing to pay for the answer for. Hopefully I just spoke English. After you do that, here is my suggestion. Get out some sticky notes or index cards. I love index cards. You just want it to be something that you can move around. So you could also use an app on your iPad where you can easily move stuff around, okay? Set your timer for 12 minutes. And what you're gonna do for that 12 minutes without stopping, even if you repeat yourself sometimes, even if you are like me and you can't write English words for some reason, just keep writing for 12 minutes. Write down all the major concepts that play into answering the question that you identified. Not which tool should I use, but how do I even use any of these tools to make it work? Not how do we get more people to adopt pets? How do we get less people to surrender pets that they really want to keep, right? So once we've got to the right question we're trying to answer, write down all the major concepts that play into that answer. So if we're trying to solve the pet adoption dilemma, we're going, why are people giving their pets up for adoption? What are the common reasons? And we're writing those down. Okay, well, maybe not enough money, maybe not enough time, maybe they're relocating, blah, blah, blah. So those are the cards that you would be writing down, if that makes sense. All right, so after you've done 12 minutes of writing all the major concepts that play into the answer of the question, you're going to move to number 3, which is review your note cards. Eliminate any duplicates. And you're going to combine into cards, combine into one cards that logically go together. Okay. Oh my gosh. Ashley Clayton, with your name in the chat, Regina fan for life. I am so done with you. Hilarious. Oh my gosh. Thank you guys. I'm so glad you guys are here. Anyway. All right. So you're going to review those cards, eliminate any duplicates, combine. 4, you're going to put the major category cards that you just created in the order in which you want to present and explain each one within your course. So let's say you've got maybe 15 major cards in that 12-minute time period. Put those into order. Now, what I like you to think about in this step is how to build small wins in for your students. And what I mean by that is most people operate best when they have a higher and higher level of self-efficacy. So if you teach them something in the first module or in the introduction of the course, you might find that, or if you give them a small win, something that they can complete and feel good about, you're gonna find that most people will then transition to the next lesson and the next module and so on and so forth. So think as you're creating your outline and putting it in order, any activities that you can build in that create those small wins, okay? Number 5, you're gonna get out some more index cards now, okay? And you're gonna cut them in half. I like to tear them if I can't find scissors, or just use smaller sticky notes, something that is not the same size as your bigger notes. And what you're gonna do is set a timer for 7 minutes, and for each of your major categories, so you had 15 major index cards, for each of those 15 ones, you're gonna spend 7 minutes. I know that's a long time. You don't have to do it all in one day. And you're gonna write down all the subpoints you wanna communicate about that category on individual smaller cards. So eventually, and I could show you guys my Instagram. This is a process I use every single time. Sometimes it ends up taking half of my living room floor. Tyler, I love index cards. Exactly. Joanne, FR just means for real, for real. Sorry for being a middle school teenager. Are people teenagers in middle school? I don't know. Sorry for being a middle school teenager and using all these abbreviations, but that means for real, for real. Anyway, so now you have a big card and maybe 7 or 8 different smaller cards under the big card, and you've done that 15 times over, however many times. And then what you're gonna do is eliminate or combine any of those baby note cards. That just means the word small, you guys. Any of those small note cards that require adjustments. And then you'll type your final outline into your spreadsheet. And that spreadsheet belongs in your course hub, okay? So screenshot this, refer back to it. Okay, ready? It's at by Regina TV. I'm like, am I allowed to say that? That's my Instagram. But you'd have to go way down in my Instagram and you will see so many pictures of like huge poster boards and huge index card craziness. Anyway, all right, you guys, we're in section 2. You're gonna make your course collateral headquarters. Thank you, Jess, for putting that in the chat. Collateral is what excites people, you guys. I'm gonna explain it in just a second. You'll see what I mean when I say collateral for your course, but I want to be for real, for real. The collateral not only excites your audience and your future students, but it excites you. Like if you were writing a book, think about this, visualize you're writing a book. Don't you think you'd be more motivated to finish that book if you were looking at the book cover all day? Like if all day the book cover was sitting on your desk of your future book, would you not want to finish writing said book? It works the same way with our students. We can't help them visualize a digital online course without some type of collateral that makes them kind of visualize themselves using the product. And that's what we'll be doing, okay? Because we want to motivate people, because why would somebody invest time and money in something that they're not excited about, if that makes sense? Okay. So I really, really, really want you to get your screenshot fingers ready, keys ready, because this next slide is honestly kind of too much to cover right now in this time that we have together, but I want you to have the information, okay? So maybe grab your phone and take a shot of it if you don't screenshot from your computer, or grab a screenshot, okay? Actually, I have a small Post-it notes obsession. Yeah, you guys should see my real office. I came to a clean office to do this presentation for you guys, but my real office is just Post-it notes. Okay, so the list I'm about to show you is pretty intense. Get ready to screenshot. And yes, that's me over there. Yes, that's pretty much how I dress every single day. What are real clothes? You guys get the point. But this is an example of collateral over there on the side for a move at home yoga from home course. Okay, ready? Ready? Pamela, Command-Shift-3 will help you screenshot on a Mac. Epic course collateral always helps. Oh my gosh, this list is so intense, right? Sorry, you guys, but I want to give you all the information and not some of it. So that's why just screenshot it. But I broke it down into 3 categories here: your website and your landing pages, your social media and your email, the collateral you'll want to develop there, and then your downloads and video elements, okay? I wish I could like comments. Exactly, Bria. You guys in the chat are so hilarious. Okay, so I'll just give you a few examples. I'm not going to read this whole thing and insult your intelligence, but on website and landing page, we're talking about things like having a sidebar image, having a main graphic for your blog post or your podcast if you have some regular content that you publish, having mock-ups of your course homework and your worksheets. I would also try to get any kind of compelling metrics or statistics about your course or your industry or your students or whatever into a visual form like an infographic, okay? So that might be on your website and landing page. For social media and email, I recommend both vertical and horizontal Facebook images, even square, square for Instagram. I really recommend you guys using Instagram or Snapchat stories to promote the freebies related to your course because, you guys, as many of you may have noticed, Instagram is not necessarily growing the same way that it used to. Using hashtags might not have the same effect that it used to, but for the people who are already following you, engaging those people with amazing, visually appealing stories can be such a great way to advertise your course or the freebies. So I recommend making a template for your Instagram stories, making header images for your emails, etc., etc. This is your last second to try and screenshot, you guys. And then on the downloads and video elements, you're going to want to have a pre-course freebie, something like a checklist or a short ebook or you know, maybe a 2-part video series or something like this. And then you might want to have a course checklist. You might want to have different slides for your videos, etc., etc. Okay, so this is your epic course collateral list. And moving on. All right. Some options for you guys as far as tools: canva.com, using Photoshop, which is what I use most, Illustrator, InDesign, Sketch, PicMonkey, and then the last one that I have here, Creative Market, is a great place for you guys to buy templates for your mockups, and it's a great place for you to buy custom fonts. Also photos. I use unsplash.com to buy photos for free, and I'll type that into the chat. But if you want to buy photos, you might go to creativemarket.com. This is a great site with so many tools, but mainly you'll probably be using them for mockups or maybe templates for workbooks or worksheets or something like that, okay? All right, you guys, I'm really excited about this section, and you're gonna wanna be taking notes. In my opinion, you don't have to, but in my opinion, okay. Ashley says Pixabay is another great resource for photos as well. Yes, thank you. All right, so course style guide. This is section 3. This is the thing that is going to make all your decisions from here on out so much simpler. All right, are you ready? Oh yeah, Affinity. Are they still updating that, Andrew, though? Affinity Designer, let me know. Anyway, so don't be out here with this hot mess chic look, you guys. And the hot mess chic is something that even myself as a designer of graphics, I've done in the past, because I'll keep, like, I might change the name of the course or the style of the worksheets, and then all of a sudden I have like 3 different styles of worksheets, 2 different course color palettes, all within the same course, and it is hot mess chic, and we don't want to do that. So there's an easier way to keep everything together, and it's by actually creating a plan for all of your anything that needs to be styled ahead of time. And you'll see, I'm not talking just about colors and what are there 3 course colors, what 2 fonts do you use? It goes deeper than that. So are you guys ready? Or should I just pack up my slides and go home? I'm just kidding. We're not doing that. Anyway, so there are 11 sections to your course style guide, okay? So let's run through them really quickly. So the first one I want you to think about is the type of course you're making. It's really important, in my opinion, to keep people on track with the type of course you're creating by always referring to it in the same way. Are my slides still updating for you guys, Jess? I can't tell.
Looks good to me.
Okay, good. So how is your course type written out? Do you refer to it as a program? Do you refer to it as a course? Do you refer to it as a webinar, a workshop, an academy? So your internal name for your product can indeed be different than your external name for your clients, but I really, really, really recommend that you just refer to them in the same way. And what I mean by this, so I'll just use an example from my own life so you guys can get an idea. So hopefully you see this screenshot. This is a shot of my program. Notice I say the word program, called Publish Your Thing. The reason I call it a program is because it has 13 individual components inside of it. And it's 13 different courses. So you can see here, make your site remarkable already, build your engaged list already, launch your profitable group already. So those are courses. And I don't want somebody to refer to Publish Your Thing as a course, because that would pretty much minimize the amount, it would minimize how epic they think it is in their mind. So it's very important to me that I call it a program every single time. Okay, so hopefully that made sense. It's a program, and it includes these arsenals that help you do this and these courses that help you do that. Okay, so it's not really important that you guys be able to read every single piece of this. The point is just that I call it a program so that people can understand that the individual components are courses and not just modules. It's a full course in there, right? So that's very important. So another thing to think about, the second thing with your course, is how do you consistently write out your course's name? So do you say, is it called the Freelance Academy, or is it called Freelance Academy? Or is it called the Freelance Academy, where free is all in caps? So you want to just have consistency with how you write it out and how you say it online, so that people can start to have it kind of have its own brand, if you will, in their mind, okay? Third thing, your copyright statement for your course. You want to write this out actually the same way each time. Is it going to be copyright symbol, year, and then your name, your personal name? Is it going to be copyright year, your business name, et cetera, et cetera? So you want to write that the same way each time on the bottom of your worksheets, on your course website, et cetera, okay? Sue, so the difference between a course and a program is really positioning. And so by that, I mean, I would want to call something that has 13 individual courses inside of it a program, so that people could think, why isn't she using the word course? Maybe it's a little more epic. Maybe it's a little more involved in the course. So you might choose to name something in a certain way, you guys, just because of the impression you want it to have in people's minds. I hope that kind of makes sense, okay? About the colors you use for your course materials. This is not all that goes into a style guide, but it is important so that you're not, again, doing the hot mess chic thing like I used to do. I like to use a site called coolers.co, and I'm typing it in the chat for you guys, to pick out colors. And I'd recommend picking out maybe 3 course colors that you use on your worksheets. And then even if you're uploading your course to Teachable, you might choose to make the headers or the headings in a certain color, or the worksheets that you upload to Teachable in a certain color, etc. I know that's how I use it, and it makes Teachable look very on brand for my brand, okay? So colors. Then, of course, the different sections of your course, you have to think of, is there a way that you're going to differentiate those visually? So for me, sometimes my sections will actually be different colors themselves, or they will be slightly, the worksheets for this section will still look like the overall course, but they'll be a little bit different, because I want people to know that they've changed to a new section, if that kind of makes sense. So, and you don't have to do anything that differentiates between the major sections of your course, but for those of you guys who are developing longer courses, it's something that I recommend thinking about. 6th thing in your style guide is fonts. I won't explain that further, but as you guys know, if you guys are using Teachable, you have the ability to go in and easily select multiple different types of fonts, so that you can change the look of your materials, the look of your actual lessons, to be more on brand for you. So I like to choose one font for my headings inside of my Teachable course, and then a different font for all of my text. Okay, so only a few more here, and then we're moving on to something so exciting. I'm going to talk to you guys about promoting your course. It's awesome. Okay, consistency with your course material mock-ups. So are you always going to mock up PDFs on an iPad, or is it always going to be on a desk? Or are you going to switch it up based on how epic the PDF is? If it's a checklist, it's hanging from the wall in your mock-up, but if it's a full workbook, it's on the iPad, et cetera, et cetera. I think consistency, you guys, is not only good to teach your customers, teach your students what they're looking at, but it's also going to cut down your decision-making time when you are mocking something up, and it will allow you to bring in a virtual assistant or somebody like that within your course business when you're ready, because you already have a certain template or system for them. I hope that makes sense. Now, I did not hire a VA when I was first starting out, so I'm not recommending go do that as your first expense. But I'm saying when that comes along, it's great to have some consistency built up because they know how to hop in and help you. Next thing would be lesson titles. Do you start it with how to? Do you start it with the Jaren version, planning epic vegan meals? Do you start it with a verb straight up, plan epic vegan meals? Start all of your lesson titles the same way if it's the same type of lesson. So I have an example of this as well, and it's okay if you can't read all the words on the screen, that's fine. But I have a course called Self-Publish Your Book already within my Publish Your Thing, and what you'll notice is all of the sections start with step blank, and then a colon. So step 0, get ready to blah, blah, blah. Step 1, choose one of the most 5 profitable approaches to self-publishing. Step 2, firm up your book idea. Step 3, et cetera, et cetera. And all the lessons start with a verb as well. Download your checklist, watch the workshop, understand how this can do, learn this, select this, et cetera, et cetera. Aw, Frederick, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. So you guys, this is what I'm talking about. Again, yeah, somebody's going to take your course if on one lesson you said understanding how self-publishing can be a profitable business model, and the next one you're like how to learn what it looks like to publish. They're going to take your course, but the consistency helps you. It helps you. You're going to be so much more quick with creating your lesson titles, your section titles, your everything if you know what the formula is that you decided ahead of time, okay? So, and it also looks better, as you can see. All right. Next thing that goes into your course style guide is your section names. Are they called modules of your course? Are they called sections? Is it a mini course within the course? Is each section a masterclass? Is it called a chapter because you're really into books, or you're trying to help people publish their first book? What are the sections called? Most people will opt for either module or section, but you can be creative with that as long as your ideal client understands what the heck you're talking about. Sometimes I get so creative with names. People are like, what is this? A Center for Ants? What movie is that from? Anyone? Okay, I'll keep moving, but if anyone knows that quote, I'd be happy to see that in the chat. All right, 10th thing that goes into your course style guide is, Elizabeth, you're so sweet. Need the replay for this, so much content. Yes, Jess, you knew. Okay, Dion, I love you guys. The building needs to be at least 4 times bigger than this. Okay, anyway. It's good you guys watch Zoolander if you have no idea what I'm talking about, or if you think I am a crazy person. Both of those things are true. So not only do you want to decide what your sections are named, is it a module, is it a chapter, is it a section, but you also want to talk about how you title them. So again, you want consistency. Do you say step 0 blank, or do you just say getting organized before you start? Or do you say get organized? Or do you say how to get organized? What is the actual title of the module or of the section? Keep it consistent. Again, all right. I know, Joanne, super crazy. Oh my gosh, you googly Carmen San Diego, hilarious. This chat is amazing. Okay, last thing inside your course style guide, and then we're gonna get to something exciting. Yeah, I bet you can't wait. I know. Update emails or announcements. Decide how you're going to do this. Typically what I do, I'll put the course name inside of brackets, or however it's called in English. Is that a word, brackets? I think so. So it might say like publish your thing inside brackets, and then it was like new course just released, or come join our group coaching call, or whatever the title of the thing is. But the first part of the email subject line is going to have the course in brackets for me. Okay? All right. Let's keep it going. Section 4 is adding your promo plan. Carmel, what was 10? 10 was the section or module titles. Just like we decided on lesson title names, you want to also decide how to title your sections, okay? Add your promo plan. So we're about to do this in a way that actually gives you new promotion ideas, I promise. And this is our last major section, you guys. I know, you're already sad. This was so hard for me, let me tell you, guys, to try to do a presentation that was 40 or 50 minutes long. If anyone is normally with me on webinars, you know that they can go for 4 hours. It's really bad. So this was a challenge for me, and I actually love it. So I hope you guys are taking a bunch of screenshots. But anyway, you guys, please listen to what I'm saying here right now. This is probably the most important thing I could ever tell anyone about selling, because I don't like quote unquote selling. And if you're kind of like that as well, Peter, oh my gosh, you're so sweet. Thank you. Then please listen to this, screenshot it, write it down, maybe get a tattoo, but maybe in like a different language so it would look kind of sexy, you know? Maybe get this as a tattoo. Selling well is all about building on the dialogue, the conversation, if you will, that is already going on in your ideal student's head. Please listen to what I'm saying here. Your ideal student already feels some type of way about your industry. They feel some type of way about their ability to reach their goal. And what you want to do is build on that dialogue, not necessarily go directly against it at first. If you need to change the inner dialogue in order to be able to sell to them, you want to just baby step there a lot of the times for a lot of people. But for some people, they're already having a dialogue. Oh man, you know, I'm really not feeling good day after day. Maybe I should be changing my diet. I wonder if plant-based diet would be healthier. I wonder if ketogenic would be healthier for me. So there's already some kind of dialogue going on, and you want to use those words and build on that in order to sell to people. So I know this is not all related to just building in your course hub, but I wanted to give you guys this extra little 2 seconds of information because I think it's so important. You're building on the dialogue already happening, but then you're doing so in a platform where your ideal audience is likely to be. Thank you, David, for saying that. So it doesn't require a huge following. I already shared with you guys at the beginning of the presentation, and I'm sure you've seen some of the other presenters during the summit who've told you, look, I didn't have a bajillion followers. Sure, now I might have 17,000 followers on Instagram, but back when I launched my first course, I had 20, right? I had 71 people on my email list. You don't need a huge following, you just need the right story, okay? So let me tell you, I'm gonna use an example, all right? Imagine, this is kind of the online marketing industry that I'm about to show you this example from. So this is a Instagram story. Remember I told you guys, make a template, make it attractive. This is an Instagram story that an online marketer, you know, one of my friends who has a really great product used, he used this template. But imagine this in your industry. How would people react if this is people who are trying to get clearer skin or lose weight or whatever the goal might be? So let me just play this, and you can see this is a story. Hopefully it moves for you guys too. He's like, I'm hosting a free event, blinking, and it's gonna help you learn Facebook ads. He has these transitions. He tells people what they're gonna get. There are 30 master classes and case studies. I repeat, 30, and it's blinking again. Again, I really hope this is moving for you guys, or else I'm just narrating nothing. You get action sheets. Look at the mock-ups he had. He says, swipe up, take 30 seconds to register. If you can't do the swipe up yet, then in your Instagram account, tell people the URL. He says, P.S. registration is easy. And then he takes them through visualizing. Just fill out your name and email, select the type of products you want to sell with ads, select your level of experience, and then, oh my gosh, you're done. That's it. Swipe up to get started, right? Or type the URL below into a browser. If you're like, ugh, swipe up, what is that? He puts the URL, see you at Social Ad School, okay? So if that makes sense, this is a really, really cool way to do this. And this is just to give you guys an idea. And since I was able to help him with his visuals, I can tell you the top secret is this was done in Keynote. So whether you guys have a Mac and you're using Keynote, or you have a you know, Windows-based system and you might be using PowerPoint, you can make a slide that is this 1080 by 1920 dimensions, and then just make your stories as slides. How smart is that? Right? You could also use Canva or something like that. So what goes into your promo plan? Great question. And then I promise you guys, I just have one more statement after this section, and then we're done. You can stop hearing my voice. I didn't even do accents for you guys. So this is the low level of my crazy right now. So what goes into your promo plan? Items are gonna exist under 6 categories, okay? So community and memberships, SEO, which is a more long-term strategy than a launch strategy, okay? Yeah, 1080 by 1920, I believe, Anthony. I hope I have that right, but anyway. SEO, long-term strategy, ads or paid promo, guest appearances or collaborations, PR and social media, and then finally events. 1080 by 1920. Here, I'll type it in to the chat. This is what I typically use when I'm creating those slides, okay? So your promo plan might look a little like this. I have switched now to an Asana screenshot just for those of you who maybe prefer Asana like I do, so you can kind of see what this looks like. You might just have boards with your different tasks or ideas or documents or whatever under that board, if that makes sense, okay? Yes, perfect, what Aaliyah said there, okay? So I'm gonna tell you things verbally, so this is not a screenshot moment, I'm telling you these. So with community and memberships, you guys, number one, you might add ideas for how you're gonna use online groups, how you're gonna use masterminds that you belong to, how you're gonna use co-working or classes or community clubs or chats that you're a part of. How will you use communities and memberships to promote your course? So you would create a section for that in your hub. In your document in your hub, okay, or in your Asana board. SEO, long-term, how are you gonna use Pinterest and Google and YouTube to lead people back to your course in an evergreen way, okay? So I don't like launching, I usually only do evergreen stuff. My stuff is always open. So SEO is a big part of my strategy. It might not be for you if you're choosing a launch only. Pinterest. Category, because if they sell, they're being paid by you to do so, really, right? So ads or paid promo, how are you going to use those things? So with Facebook, you might not run an ad to your $1,200 course, but what you might do is run an ad to a free boot camp that you host the month before you launched your $1,200 course, right? All right. Number 4, guest appearances and collaborations. Think about things like blog posts. Think about doing like a share for share on Instagram where somebody shares your content and then you share theirs. Think about writing for major publications, freelance or something like that. Podcast episodes that you can be on. Maybe you can actually co-create a product as a collaboration. For number 5, PR and social media, think about word of mouth mentions, press mentions, helping people help you by making it easy to click to tweet or to share on Facebook, to save your pins, etc. And then think about maybe launching a challenge or something on social media, something that you do on Instagram stories every day for 10 days before the launch of your course, etc. And then number 6, events. You might think of an online conference or a summit, a webinar or a webinar series, Twitter chats, etc. Am I still here, you guys? I can't tell.
Yes.
Yeah?
Coming
okay, good.
Still live.
Okay, good. So then last thing is you're gonna add 4 more parts, and I'm not gonna go into these in detail because I'm gonna turn it back over to our favorite team here at Teachable. But your hub's not done yet when you do those first 4 sections, and I'll recap the sections. But you're gonna wanna build in these last 4 parts, okay? So we did our course outline. We know what collateral we wanna build into our hub. We know the style guide, the 11 elements. We talked about promotion plan just now. The last 4 things you're gonna wanna do is add your actual course content, all the videos, all the images that you use, all the text lessons. Again, you might just be using Google Drive, and this is a place for you to store it before you load it into Teachable. Number 6, your maintenance and feedback plan. This is a document within your hub where you're taking notes when somebody's like, oh, this section doesn't work. Oh, I wish you had done more on this. Oh, blah, 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 with the worksheet. You're pasting in notes for how you can maintain and improve your course. And then you're also pasting in testimonials that maybe pop up so that you can use those later on for marketing materials or just, again, improve your course, improve the audience experience. The community management hub, this might be where you have all of your different rules and regulations, if you will, on how you're going to manage your community. So this might just be like the guidelines of your community, the prompts that you want to share in your community if you're using a community with your course. And then finally, a running task list. And this is kind of self-explanatory. You just want to make sure that literally everything you need for executing on this course is in one hub. So you need a running task list to know where you're at and to know what you have left, okay? So that was it. That was that. Is it more clear or not? I'm hoping that you can see how to create a course hub and also see how having all of those things in one key place will help you craft and execute something amazing. I really recommend trying it this actual weekend. Don't delay. It just ensures that you're not ever having to go, what do I do next? Where is that one thing I need, et cetera, et cetera. So hopefully you guys got some value out of it. Thank you so much, Jessica. You're so sweet in the chat. And now we're turning it back to Teachable.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, that was so good. I mean, everyone in the chat was loving it. I learned some new things, definitely. Regina, thank you for sharing all this. Guys, can we all say thank you to Regina?
Yeah, if we could just do that all right now in the chat, is like, thank you, Regina. And we'll do this later on when Regina leaves. But just for now, just an initial thank you, Regina, because that was so valuable.
Thanks.
Now, we just spent a lot of time talking about organization, talking about your tools, talking about your tips and your strategies for creating your online courses. But I think at this point, it's actually time for us to talk about you. Well, look, what do I mean by that? I mean that we have gone over a lot of like what it takes to be successful with online courses. We've gone over a lot of what it takes to, plan them and execute them successfully. But I want to talk for a second about you and your mindset, okay? So first of all, even if you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed right now, even if you're feeling a little bit like this, and in the chat, you can let me know if you actually are feeling a little bit like this, and that's fine. There's so much terminology, so many new things you're learning, so many different systems you have to keep track of. So it's okay. You can feel like this. But I just want you to remember that you can do this. Thousands of other people have done this, and you can do this as well. Whether you're using Regina's tips, whether you're using all these other strategies, this is something that you can do. Now, even this seems overwhelming for you. Again, that is totally fine if it is. How many of you at this point would like me to just simplify this all? How many of you would like me to remove all of this other stuff? Like, should I do this? Should I do this? All this indecision. And just give you the exact easy to follow process that we've worked here at Teachable to develop with partners like Regina. Now, the thing about creating an online course is that at Teachable, we actually have the data behind this. And we found that there are two things that you need to create and launch a successful online course. The first thing is you need a platform. You actually need the technology. You need something that can host your courses, that can do all of the back-end tech stuff for you. Sorry. And that's where Teachable comes in. We've spent millions of dollars building the best platform on the market. It looks great. It works so well. I'm a really big fan of that, and I swear I'm not biased at all. But the second thing, and this was actually the hard part, is that you need a proven plan to follow from people who've done this before. Now, of course, a lot of this stuff you can figure out by yourself if you've got lots of time, months of your time to do trial and error, figure this out, try this, see if it doesn't work, spend money doing this, see that it doesn't work and do something else. But if you don't have months of your time, or you don't want to spend months of your time doing that, well, we actually developed a proven plan to follow from people who have done this before. People were already saying in the chat, like, Regina, just from this webinar alone, if I'd had this information earlier, it would have saved me months of time. And that's what we're going for when we developed this strategy. Now, so in total, if you want to find a course topic that people are going to love, if you want to take that course and more courses and you want to use them to become more well-known in your space, build your audience and your credibility, if you want to use that to grow your income, provide value to others so that they can provide value to you. And if you want to do this while helping a lot of people, providing value to others, and actually building a community around yourself and your teachings, and you want to do this all, or actually start doing this in the next 30 days, then we've worked with Regina and other folks to create a special Teachable bundle for you. I know it's not Black Friday yet, but we're going to be out of the office. We're going to be celebrating Thanksgiving with our family and friends. So we're giving you an early Black Friday offer. Now, the thing is that this starts with our professional plan. And as part of this offer, you get our annual plan, which is $200 cheaper than the monthly. So instead of paying $100 a month, you pay $9.99 for the year. So the professional plan is by far our most popular plan. You get unlimited courses and students, 100% customizable look and feel, custom domains to match your branding, learner progress tracking and analytics, drip content, email marketing, e-commerce, and no transaction fees, as well as instant payouts. Now, everyone is already saying, like, just say how much it is. Look, it's $9.99. I'm just saying that up front, okay? Now, once you have the #1 software, the #1 platform to actually deliver that course, you need that second part that I've really been stressing here, a step-by-step plan to help create and launch it. And to do that, we partnered with Regina and some of the most successful other online course instructors. We took some of their signature courses, worth over $4,000, and we're going to give them to you for free when you join us today on the professional plan. So first and foremost, we have Regina's course, Creating Your Course in a Weekend, which Regina sells for $200. Now, Regina, we've talked a lot in this webinar about some of the stuff that you go into in this course, but what more are they going to get with the full version?
Great question. So basically, I've designed it such that everything that we just kind of did in the planning the course hub section, plus actually getting some of that done, like you'll actually create your style guide, you'll actually create some of your course collateral, you'll be able to download my full 60-page case study on my first ever course launch when I only had 71 people on my email list. So you'll be able to see what you can do towards the beginning of your course business to actually get your course launched. What belongs in all of those different sections. And
Regina, you're still there? Your audio cut out for a second.
Yeah. I hope that was a good description. Hopefully that made sense.
Yeah, thank you so much, Regina. Well, not only do you get her full course, you also get a course by Ryan Deiss, the Funnels Blueprint Master Course. Now, what this is about sales funnels. And if you don't know the terminology, this is about getting a broad group of people and getting them through stages of email marketing, stages of social media interaction, stages of looking at your site until you have a small, dedicated group of people who are ready to buy. So he sells this course again for $300 and is providing this for our audience today when you join us on the annual plan. Denise Duffield-Thomas, she has an entire workshop about pricing your course. And Regina, I'm sure you know this, but pricing your course can be kind of difficult when you're thinking like, oh, do I do this as 4 payments of $75? Do this as 1 payment of $297? Is $297 better than $299? Like, what kind of value should I be adding if I'm doing this? She breaks this all down in her workshop. It's one of the most difficult topics, and she makes it simple. Now, Brian Harris, this guy's an expert at building email lists. He's built an email list, like I think it's over 6 figures in size. And he goes into, with this masterclass on advanced list building, takes you through the process of going from 0 to 10,000 list subscribers, which is really the most important stage, way more important than 10 to 100,000. Because from 0 to 10,000, that's where you learn all the tips and strategies. And again, you can figure this out yourself by trial and error, but why waste the time? So this is included free with the annual plan. Now, Alana Kevalia, if you've enjoyed this webinar, you want to do webinars just like this, and you want to learn from one of the best, well, Alana, she was actually a student on one of our summits. She became a Teachable instructor and has since scaled her business to over 6 figures, largely on the back of webinars. She's one of my favorite success stories because she took the tools and learnings from the summit and she applied them to her business, and that's how she found success. Now, Melissa Farr, she talks about ultimate mindset mastery. This is a full course about centering yourself, getting your ideas set up, actually finding the calm and the time and the place to create and visualize your courses, just getting yourself ready to do the work. That's sometimes the hardest part, and these tips are really incredibly useful. This is a course that she sells for $300, and we're including it for free. Just 2 more. Caleb Wojcik, he's a world-renowned videographer, works with folks like Pat Flynn, and actually with us. We've hired him to shoot some of our video. But if you don't have the thousands of dollars it takes to hire him or buy his equipment, you can instead take his online course about shooting better video in a DIY style, just using your existing equipment and some natural light. So again, this is a full course that he sells, and he's providing it for free. And last but not least in courses, Teachable's own Randall Browning, one of our head of content marketing. She has a whole workshop about using upsells, a feature built into Teachable to boost your sales. Now, an upsell means that once someone buys your course, you have the option for them to, with 1 click, buy something else. So they just bought the beginner version of your course. With 1 click, they can upgrade to the advanced version. They just bought the main version of your course. Well, with 1 click, they can also subscribe to your monthly coaching package. This is a feature built right into Teachable that other platforms charge for. Well, we are including it with our professional plan, and you get this masterclass for free when you join us on an annual plan. Now, a lot of you have asked about replays, and if you join us on an annual plan, you're going to get all the live replays from every single event on the summit. You'll have access to them forever to keep on growing your business. And on the professional plan only, you're going to get 2 of our most valuable bonuses of all. The first are 8 weeks of our live group coaching calls. Now, these are usually led by me. Hey, that's me over there. Well, there's not going to be one next week because it's Thanksgiving. But we lead these every week. It's myself, it's other members of the Teachable team, it's yourself, it's instructors. We usually get between 5 and 20 people on there, and it becomes a real masterclass. People sharing their ideas, giving feedback on their struggles, talking about their successes. Everyone's jotting down notes and learning new stuff. I love these so much. It's one of the best part of my jobs to lead them. And you get 8 weeks of access to these for free. And this is probably the most valuable bonus of all, because this is something that we normally include only with our $300 plan, okay? This is 2 hours of one-on-one concierge onboarding, which means that you get 2-hour-long one-on-one video calls with a member of the Teachable team who sits down with you, walks you through the system, helps you get set up, shows you how to do everything. It just takes that learning curve and it flattens it. So again, we normally include this when you sign up for the plan that's $300 a month. But we're able to do this when you join us on a professional annual plan today for $9.99. Now, this sounds like a lot, and it absolutely is. But you go through all of these courses and bonuses at your own pace. So they will fit into your schedule even if you are very busy sitting on the beach wearing white sneakers. Man, I love stock photos. Now, here's all that we're going to need from you. Just watch the videos, do the action items, and ask the right questions, and you'll be able to take action and get results. Because at the end of the day, you're getting the exact same platform, the exact same tools, and the exact same ideas that thousands of our most successful instructors have used to grow their online course businesses. Now, just a summary of everything you're getting today. When you sign up for our annual pro plan, which is $9.99, you get Caleb's signature DIY video course, advanced pricing workshop by Denise Thomas, advanced list building by Brian Harris, selling out your courses with webinars by Lana Kivalia, mindset mastery by Melissa Farr, the customer value journey by Ryan Dice, creating profit boosting upsells by Randall Browning, and your very own copy of Creating Your Course in a Weekend by Regina. Now, on top of that, you'll also get the Summit Live replays, 2 hours of concierge onboarding, and 8 weeks of group Q&A coaching. We emptied our inboxes. We talked to everyone we could find to get the best value possible for people who joined us on this offer. And I think we were able to achieve that. I think we got something pretty good for you guys. Now, I should have to mention that we have the Teachable Annual Pro Plan, which is $9.99. And I know that can be a lot up front. So if you're not quite ready for the professional plan, you can instead go to the basic plan for $3.99 and get all of the bonuses, except no group coaching calls and no onboarding. Because it's a cheaper plan, we can't afford to donate our time in the onboarding and the coaching calls. So again, you can upgrade to either of these plans and you'll still get the bonuses, except the pro will get the concierge onboarding and the group coaching, and basic won't. If you're already on a monthly plan, you can just click the buttons up above to switch to an annual. If you're already on an annual, you can just click the buttons up above to extend your annual plan. It's all automatic. Now, the basic plan still has some of the features that you'll need, okay? You'll still have unlimited courses in students, a custom domain, affiliate program, etc. But on the basic plan, instead of getting paid instantly, we accept the payments for you, take a transaction fee, and then pay you out every 30 days. So on the pro plan, when you sell a $100 course, after PayPal or Stripe takes their cut, you get about $97. With the basic plan, you end up with about $92, and that makes a big difference in the end. Now, again, here's all you need to do. Just select your plan above to buy the bundle now. And I'm going to say this twice, okay? I'm going to tell you up front that I'm going to say this twice because it's such a line, and I'm going to say, oh, here's the first time, it still gets better. So here's the first reason that this still gets better in addition to the bonuses. The first is our 100% money back guarantee. So this is the best guarantee we can offer because not only do you have 30 days to go through everything, just set up your school, download everything, take advantage of all the bonuses, live your Teachable life to the fullest. If by the end of those 30 days you decide that Teachable isn't perfect for you, you get your money back. No questions asked, okay? This is not like calling Comcast and being like, I want to cancel my plan, and they just go click, or they pass you to the retentions department, which keeps you on hold for an hour and then asks you for your mother's maiden name and then tells you you're wrong and that you should feel bad about yourself. No, we will give you your money back, no questions asked. That's why there's not a free trial for Teachable. You pay us up front. And we only do that because we can give you your money back without asking any questions and without making you jump through any hoops. It's not like LinkedIn, where after that 30-day free trial, they charge you without sending you an email. And when you call them to cancel, they're like, ha, good luck, and they hang up on you. So I'm serious when I say that this is 100% risk-free. Because again, if you don't like it, if you want to change anything, you can just do that. You can just get your money back. And here's the second time I'm going to say this. It still gets better. Now, if you've been on the workshops the past few days, you know that if you upgrade during the workshop itself, there's a special fast action bonus. Now, unfortunately, you missed out on the fast action bonuses from days 1 through 4. I'm sorry, I can't give those to you. But if you upgrade on the webinar today, you'll get day 5's workshop plus all of the fast action bonuses moving forward. And today's fast action bonus is the Product Planner Masterclass by Maya Elias, which she sells for $200 and has generously donated to us today. And the nice thing is this bonus comes with both the basic and the pro plans. So to summarize what you're getting today, when you sign up for our annual pro plan, you get production, DIY video production by Caleb Wojcik, advanced pricing by Denise Duffield-Thomas, advanced list building by Brian Harris, selling out your courses by Alana Cavalia, mindset mastery by Melissa Farr, the customer value journey by Ryan Dice, creating profit boosting upsells by Randall Browning, the Summit Live event replays, product planner masterclass, concierge onboarding, group Q&A coaching, and Regina's own creating your course in a weekend. Now, this is over $4,000 worth of bonuses. And again, that's not a made up number. That's what these actually sell for. So here's what some folks who have taken advantage of this have said. If Fiona says, after 2 weeks of relentless periscoping, a free workshop, tweeting, and marketing, I'm closing registration to my first course on Teachable with 40 paid students at $97 a student. And Alan Perlman says, I'm speechless. Did a soft launch of a course I've been working on less than 72 hours later and already $6,000+ in sales. I was struggling to get my course off the ground for a while, but I discovered Teachable's platform just last month, and it was the push I needed. My favorite part of this, Alan has since gone on to have multiple 6-figure launches and has left his day job. So we're going to have a live Q&A in a second, but again, here's what to do next. Just type into the chat and let me know that you've upgraded. And all you have to do to upgrade is click the button up above that corresponds to the plan that you want. If you already have an annual plan, when you click the button up above, you'll be asked to extend it. If you're on a monthly plan, it'll just ask you to switch to annual. And if you already have a school with us, again, here's the instructions. When you click on your plan, it brings you to a screen that looks like this. If you already have an account with us, just click log in at the bottom. Don't try to create a new account. That just won't work and it'll cause everyone confusion. Just log into your existing account by clicking that button down there. Now, here's what happens after you upgrade. First, our elves are working furiously in the back of the office to write up those emails with the bonuses and send those to you. And then step 2, all you have to do is click on the links in the bonuses and log in at the Teachable Academy, and you'll have access instantly. But here's something very important. Please let us know in the chat when you upgrade. You should get everything automatically, but let us know in the chat so that we can welcome you, give you virtual high fives, and expedite your bonuses. So make sure to let us know in the chat. Now, why is this offer so good? Like, why can we afford to give away $4,000 worth of courses? Like, why weren't we just selling them for $4,000? That makes no sense. Well, here's why. We're a business, and we like to make money. We're here to make money and deliver value to our shareholders and our employees. And we found that the best way for us to make money is to have successful customers. Because when people aren't doing well, when they're not selling courses, they stop paying us. Like, it just makes sense. So we realized that even though we would lose out on the upfront revenue from selling these courses, when you guys are more successful, we more than make it up on the back end. Because you stay with us, you keep on selling courses, you get more students, you refer your friends and family to us, you refer your business partners, you grow our business as you grow your business. So that is my favorite part about this. We're a company where our interests are aligned. We do well when you do well. If you're not doing well, you'll get your money back and you just won't pay us. It's as simple as that. And if you need help, our customer care team is standing by. We have incredible support. And that's an actual support team, by the way. This isn't a stock photo, though that's actually about half of them. We really need to take a new group picture. And by the way, if you're on the annual Pro plan, we just rolled out live chat. So in addition to our excellent email support on the other plans, the Pro plan, on the annual Pro plan rather, has live chat support. So check that out. We're very excited about it, and we're going to be expanding that even more. Now, with Regina's guides, with everyone's help, with the help of the Teachable team, you will have everything you need to create your own online course with Teachable. Now, our live Q&A is starting now and going for the next 15 minutes. That's actually a lie. It'll go longer than that. But ask us all the questions in the chat now, because we want to make sure that you are getting started with confidence. And all right.
Can everyone type into the chat that has upgraded? Because I was already seeing people upgrade while we were still talking. So everyone right now type in the chat if you upgraded, so we can welcome you, we can thank you. Regina, so excited to get into this Q&A because I think there's some really great questions that were coming in as well.
Elizabeth upgraded. Awesome, Elizabeth.
Welcome.
Oh, virtual high five and real high five. Very good question from Andrew Smith. I think you need to explain the personal onboarding a bit. So basically, the way that works is you schedule an hour-long time slot with a member of the Teachable team who joins you on a video call, helps you get set up on your school. Like, it's just someone sitting over your shoulder basically as you add content, as you have questions, as you figure stuff out. It is just such a time saver. So you get 2 of those hour-long calls. Maya, so this only works for annual? Yes, this only works for annual. Aaron says trying to upgrade to the 99 month is not available. Aaron, this is not available for the monthly plans. Okay, this is not available for the monthly plans. This is only available for the annual plans. Okay, so Beth, I brought the Pro back after the Quick Start webinar, but it was for the Pro monthly. Is that a mistake, or is there something to do to save it too? So you're on the monthly plan, and that's great. You can select the annual plan above to switch to the annual plan. You'll get charged the prorated difference. So if you just paid us $99, that would be deducted from the amount you would have to pay today. Glenn has upgraded to the annual Pro plan. Glenn, it is great seeing you on another webinar, and virtual high five and real high five.
Oh, that's so cool.
Glenn has been going to all these webinars. Glenn has been asking great questions. It's great. I'm really, really glad that I've seen Glenn do this. Okay, Joanne says, when's the deadline for upgrading from basic annual to pro annual? Joanne, do you mean, are you already on basic annual, like outside of like a summit, and you're interested in switching to pro annual as part of the summit? Okay, Lori is upgraded, virtual high five and real high five.
I hope you're doing this. I say this every time, but you better be doing this to the screen otherwise.
Oh, so Tatiana actually has a very important question, which I'm sure a lot of people are thinking. So Tatiana says, sorry, I just have to scroll up for a little bit. I'd like to upgrade to basic, but I'm still working on my new webpage. Will not be able to start working on course creation until the site is ready. My focus is on art and art history. I wonder how profitable it can be, and if it can, doubts. So Regina, I'm actually wondering if you can answer this. Like, what you think about someone who is a little bit worried that their topic is not going to be profitable, someone who's a little bit worried that they might not have the time or attention, or they're working on another project right now. Well, what do you think, Regina?
Okay, great question. I'm not gonna lie, I was like furiously typing in the chat and answering other questions. But so the question is basically thinking that the topic might not be profitable, and also thinking there might not be enough time to develop the idea.
Yeah.
Okay, I love this, love this, love this. First thing I'll say is one of the exciting things, I was speaking at a conference a couple months ago, and one of the exciting things I found was that a lot of people there had actual niche, very niche courses. Stuff like what are those little baby plants called?
Oh, succulents.
I love succulents.
Thank you. So, you know, a very niche brand on succulents, for example. Another of my friends has released a course on like downsizing and making over your camper, for example. So what I have found, even myself, in moving into the more niche kind of areas of like using yoga for creativity and anxiety, to reduce anxiety, is that the niche kind of courses are really working well. And what I found too, you guys, is very encouraging, is that a lot of people outside of the online business industry have never seen some of these wonderful quote unquote tactics or strategies that you might use, like having a whole free webinar. They're like, a free course that I can watch online from my couch just for me, and they're excited. And so, you know, it may be something that you might feel like a little bit over in the marketing industry, but for who you're trying to sell to, it might be something that's amazing. So what I'm saying is, niche works, your topic probably works. I would 100% guess it would work. And then I would also encourage you that this doesn't have to take a long time or a large audience. Like I shared, I had 71 people when I started on my email list. And you guys, I also, I'm not gonna lie, I did the thing where I did the very detailed outline, made sure I was answering the right questions for people, and launched before the course was created. So I had money in my pocket, so to speak, in my PayPal account to actually create the course and take some time off of clients and other kinds of work. And I made sure that I was just waking up like an hour earlier and probably using my lunch break and stuff like that to actually create the course content. So I would also, that was the longest answer ever, but it does not have to be something crazy. Make it a 3-day bootcamp workshop style course at first, and then build the more detailed course later if you're worried about time, would be my thought.
So I saw Uwe, Judy, and I believe it was Beth upgrade as well. So virtual high fives all around and real high fives. And Regina, thank you so much for that great explanation. I really appreciate that. And look, things are already spreading. So Shay in Colorado says, I just suggested to a friend to do a video series on DIYing a camper with online classes. That's awesome. I love it. This is something that's infectious. It's something that's spreading, and every day more and more people are teaching online courses and taking them. This is something that's actually pretty key. There's only I think maybe 100 million or 200 million or so people who have ever taken an online course. And there's over 7 billion people in the world. This is such an untapped market that even if you're worried right now, hey, I mean, Regina's already gotten in, all these other people have gotten in, how am I gonna be successful if there's already people doing this? You are on the ground floor. This is still a chance to be the pioneer. Bria says, guys, you're the best host ever. Bria, I'm gonna screenshot that. You're the best
guests and chat people ever.
I'm gonna screenshot and send that to my mom. Okay, so Ashley Clayton, I'm gonna help my farming neighbor who has pigs and chickens market her farm. She doesn't even have email.
Ooh.
I love it.
Ashley, you should check out the first panel we did. We had Deborah Neiman, who has courses on homesteading and copper deficiency in goats. She's all a really interesting niche. If you didn't see that, definitely watch the replay.
So Andrew Smith says that he's going in for the kill. Andrew Smith, unless you're actively hunting, I'm assuming that you mean that you're signing up for a plan. So I'm just going to give you a virtual high five and a real high five. Ashley, oh, you were there with Deb. She's the one that inspired me. That's great.
Oh, awesome. That's great to hear.
Theo from the UK, guys, you really got this together now. Theo, yeah, we're a pro team.
Boom.
Pound and Regina. Pound. Stella from Liverpool, UK. I signed up for base at the beginning of the year, but couldn't continue after illness, but had my course 75% complete. You guys were absolutely brilliant in understanding my situation. Not sure where to go from here with what I've already set up. So listen, I will be very clear about this. Building and selling online courses, it's not trivial. It's not the easiest thing in the world, and you will need time to dedicate it to it. If you don't have time in your life to dedicate to it, whether it be because of illness or family emergency or something like that, we don't want your money. I don't want you to pay for something and not use it because you don't have the time, whether due to illness or family reasons or anything like that. We're not a get-rich-quick scheme. We're not here to get your money above anything else. We're here to make sure that you have a happy and successful life and business, okay? And the way to do that is to not spend every cent you have on Teachable if you're going through a lot in your life and you won't be able to actually take advantage of it. So I'm gonna tell you, think carefully, because if you do have time in your life to do this, then this actually might be a great thing to do if you're at home and you're able to do this while you're recuperating from an illness or something like that. But if, again, you don't have time to do this and your life is busy elsewhere, then please don't give us your money. We don't want it.
Jojo had a good question. She said, I'm worried my course won't be long enough. Is there a guide for how long or short your course should be? Regina, what are your thoughts on this? How short can a course be? How long should it be?
Yeah, I think it just really depends on the audience and goal, because some courses I've seen the audience prefer that it's like the shortest course ever. And I've just kind of priced to match that with it within my industry. If it's something they can take in a day or a few days, I might choose something in the $50 to $200 range. So there's no real answer. The answer to the question, I guess, so there is a real answer, is, did it help them with the goal? And if so, then whatever length you come up with is going to be perfectly fine. And if you come up with something short, then market that and speak to how quickly people can get through it and how on point and how much you're not wasting their time, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So market it as a strength is what I would say.
So Joanne, important question. How soon do we have to schedule the onboarding sessions? Can we do it at our leisure? Yes, you can do that at your leisure. Do that whenever you want. You're not locked into doing it in a particular time or anything like that. However, the only thing is, if you get a refund within like these 30 days, you cannot then take advantage of the sessions. Unfortunately, we can't do that because we have to pay the people who do the onboarding. And if you've got a refund, well, then we're just kind of eating that cost. So please don't do that. Only schedule the sessions if you're sure that you're going to stick with Teachable. That's just something that I will ask from you.
Satnam says I have to sign off. Thank you, Teachable and Regina. I can't wait to start this year's bonuses. We can't wait either. And keep us posted too. So even if you upgrade or you don't, but everything you're learning, let us know the results that you get.
Ooh, and Joanne, actually, I do have one thing to add on to that. You say you're not going to get a refund. That's great. I'm awesome. That's great to hear. But Joanne, one thing I would schedule those sessions after you have questions. Mm-hmm. So if you just do that, if you just schedule it for tomorrow and you haven't opened Teachable before and you barely used it and you're just like, okay, I'm here, ambassador, show me everything. They're not really going to know what to do, because it's really best when it's guided by you, okay? So go in, play around, take some courses, get some questions, like have some things to ask, and then schedule your session. That way, there are things to talk about, there are specific things to work at during the onboarding session.
Andrew, where's your high five at? Here it is.
Boom.
Boom
And boom. There we go. Suzanne, and yes, it's the same thing with the courses. They are all self-paced. Elizabeth, as a newbie, where do you recommend we start? So Elizabeth, I might be a little bit biased, but I think one of the best places to start here is actually going to be with Regina's course, because it's a real crash course in actually getting your course off the ground. And then from there, this isn't included as part of the bonuses, but go through our support center. Go through like some of the getting started documentation. We've got a ton of articles in there about what to do when you're getting set up with your Teachable school. We also do a demo webinar every Thursday, which you can hop on, where we show you exactly like step-by-step how you build a course in Teachable. So that's not about marketing. It's not about anything but like the tech, like how exactly you do this. Sarah, oh, go ahead, Jess.
I was going to say, guys, we have the incredible Regina here. If you have any questions of things that you were going through today in the workshop or things that you want to dive in deeper, do ask them while she is here and able to answer them.
Jess, can I actually grab this question from, I believe, Andrew? He's asking about evergreen versus launching.
Yes, please.
Okay, so perfect. So for anyone who's not familiar with these terms, a lot of times you'll hear evergreen, greenfield, meaning your course is always available. You maybe launch it the first time in January of 2018 because your guys are going to work on it this next month, and then it's always available. It's available in February, March, April, May, June, July, etc. Versus launching a course, which is usually opening and closing a course. So you maybe open it in January and then have it open for a couple weeks and then close it. And then you open it again in July and then close it. People like to do launches because it helps them bring in a lot of income at once. And because if they are using it, like doing a community to support the course, it's a lot easier to know, oh, okay, I need to be in the community for these next 90 days because people just bought. So there are benefits to it. So it's something for you to keep in mind. What I like to do is most of my courses are things that I don't want to tell the audience member when they should be able to access it or not. And what I mean by that is if you decide that you want to start publishing a book, I don't want to have to tell you, well, wait until July when my course is open again. I want you to be able to access the information right then. Now, some of you are in industries where that might differ, and it's better to do things around seasons. But I just want to stress this one point. These are two entirely different business models, you guys. Learning how to sell a product that is always available and building in evergreen methods, if you're like me, because you don't want to launch anymore, is completely different than trying to build in 1 to 2 times per year, where you create a bunch of hype around your thing. Maybe you're taking out Facebook ads, maybe you're working with affiliates, maybe not, but they're completely different business models. And you need to understand that typically you're going to spend a lot of money on the launch model if you're trying to have those huge launches that you maybe see in the news, as I like to call it, your Facebook news feed. But so just please keep in mind that they're very different business models, and the way you approach how to sell is going to be different. And so it's really kind of like, what is your personality? When is your customer likely to find out about your course? When are they going to need it? Are they going to find another solution in between the time that your launches are closed, et cetera, et cetera? So that's just a little background information on that. I prefer not launching, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't work for certain industries. So hopefully that was a little bit of an overview.
And when you do your evergreen though, do you still have some form of scarcity? Like, it's not like you're just like, you can buy it anytime. Like, do you do that? Or is it just a link on your website to join the course?
Great question. So something I'm testing out right now that I'm really excited about is creating different forms of, as Jess said, scarcity, or building in urgency, but building in ethical urgency. And so, for example, what I do is I've created so much content. You guys saw that my main program has 13 different courses in it, that I can often just offer a different bonus each month. So this month's bonus, for example, is, well, it doesn't matter. But anyway, this month's bonus is workshop A. Next month's bonus is anyone who joins, you get on a free group coaching call with me, et cetera, et cetera. And so it helps to always have something to incentivize the person other than like, this is a great price, you should do it. So that's a great question. There are different ways to build in urgency, you guys, and I've seen them work. And I've also seen, by doing things like the group coaching calls as a way to build an urgency. Lately, I've had like a 0% refund rate, like 0 people are asking for refunds. And I'm not saying I'll always keep that up, but if you can build something in that creates urgency and also deepens the customer's relationship with your course, lets them know where they should start, what's the best lesson for them, blah, 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 that's going to really help you with your retention rates as well.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh, so many questions.
Yeah, questions have been coming in. Kathy at Startup German, what is the likelihood I would actually get an onboarding session scheduled within this month? I think that there are still some slots available in mid to late November. So actually, this is a good one from Ashley. What are some other community and this is for Regina. What are some other community building things that you've tried other than Facebook, like Slack groups, Zoom, whatever? Like, what have you been using to build community?
Great. So tools wise, you guys, I definitely do like Slack. I like Mighty Networks. Facebook groups are great. I love Facebook so much because 2 billion people are on the platform. It's likely that your customers are there. But in answer to your specific question, Ashley, about tools, like what other platforms you use, I would really recommend you guys checking out Mighty Networks and seeing what that's all about. I've used it, I've set it up. It's very easy to set up. It's easy to keep organized. It allows people to do quite a few more things than you're able to do in Facebook groups. And then Slack is an amazing tool as well. So I recommend, go ahead, Jess.
What was the name? Money Networks?
Mighty Networks. I'll type it in.
We were actually looking at that earlier today. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a really awesome tool. So hopefully I typed that into the chat for you guys. I really recommend and for those of you who are considering creating like a membership program where you are going to maybe want to like charge like monthly recurring stuff like that, that's actually something you can also set up within Teachable. You can set people up on like a monthly recurring thing and then set up your community in a different platform off of Teachable, but still have it, partnered with, in one sense, all of your course content that's on Teachable. But yeah, I love Mighty Networks for that.
Irene is already learning new stuff, like, hey, a different bonus every month. Like, think of if that just gets you like 3 or 4 new customers, then instantly, like, Regina's learnings have paid for themselves. Like, that's the nice thing about investing in learning, is that it tends to pay off in really good dividends. Ben, the URL for Slack is slack.com. So Ed in Denver, so I'm gonna give my personal opinion here about micro learning. Ed is asking about, how do you feel about micro learning? Like $5 courses, $10 courses, that kind of stuff. Here's how I feel about it. I'm not really that big a fan. Like maybe it's one thing if you're only selling like a bundle of 20 micro learning modules for like $80 or $100. But if people are just buying $5 or $10 courses from you, here's a few things that happens. One, they will only put $5 or $10 worth of effort into them. Regina, I don't know if you've ever tried experimenting with cheaper courses, but if you have, I'm sure you've noticed that the people, well, they're the type of people who aren't actually putting that much effort into it. They haven't invested their money, so they're probably not going to invest their time. So you see, like, we've seen the data in Teachable, like the inverse relationship, the same linear relationship between like course price and like average completion percentage. Like as the course gets more and more expensive and people are more invested in it, the completion percentage goes up. People are engaged more, they care more, they're more active, they're more likely to get actual value out of it. The second thing is that all of a sudden, if you want to make $1,000 a month, that means you just have to sell 5 $200 courses. That means that you would have to sell 200 $5 courses. And when you think of it like that, that's like selling almost 10 courses a day. So you really need to be getting lots of volume into there. Facebook ads become less economical because like the margins are so low. And the processing fee that credit card companies charge, 2.9% plus 30 cents. On a $200 sale, who cares about that 30 cents? On a $5 sale, that 30 cents is actually 6% of the price. Plus so it becomes like all of a sudden credit cards are taking 10% of the price to begin with. Now, these are all the reasons I'm against it. That said, the main way I do see these being successful is again when they're bought as a bundle. So someone will buy your $100 package of like 20 like small e-learning modules.
Regina, what are your thoughts on this though? Because you've tested out different price points. What have you seen with that?
Yeah, I mean, you guys, this is probably one of the biggest things. That's why I'm glad there's that pricing bonus inside of this bundle. But anyway, this is a great question. Honestly, you guys, I started out by charging lower price points. And most of it was ebooks, but some of it was courses. So we're talking about $15 and $20. The problem is that, as Cameron said, that requires a larger audience to really make a full-time income. The problem with that is I like to be very hands-on. If you guys haven't noticed, like I like to answer questions. I like to make sure that people are getting their full value out of something. And if you have a really large audience, you're going to typically have a large amount of people asking questions and turning to you and, this, that, and the other. And it can be hard to provide the level of support that you want to provide if you are creating $5 and $10 things as your own, as a primary product. So what I have found is that the way I like to be involved with my students, it's easier to serve them at a higher price point where everyone who buys, basically no one asks for a refund because they're committed to finish, even though I have a hassle-free refund. Everyone gets through the materials, even if it takes sometimes a year. People come back and they go through the materials, and charging a higher price point is what I have to do in order to support that business model. But I arrived at this after 3 years of doing it the other way and kind of building a business that was almost a little out of control for me. Again, this is not to say you can't do it, but I've bought some $10 courses. I've never finished one. I've bought into higher price things and I've gotten the full value out of them plus more. So again, a long answer. I'm sorry. I like to ramble and talk, but I do like the slightly higher price point, especially for people who plan to grow a larger audience.
So first of all, I do just want to say before anything else, a quick welcome to Ilana and to Karen, a virtual high five and real high five. Thank you for upgrading. So someone has asked a good question about, what if people would pay more, they just don't have the money? Like, what if there are people that I want to target and I want them to have the full experience of the course, but they might not be able to afford it. One thing that I definitely recommend doing, and this is a great thing, is maybe having like a scholarship application. So if someone, writes to you, you have like an organized little application, they write to you with like a really compelling reason for like why they can't afford the full price or something like that. Well, then you can work with them. You can give them a long payment plan. You can give them a steep discount. You can even give them to them for free if they have a really, really compelling reason for it. No one is telling you you can't let anyone in at whatever price you want. But by and large, you should be targeting people who are going to be investing in yourself, who are going to be investing in your content, and therefore are going to be getting more value out of it.
Great questions, guys.
Okay, so someone's asking, what are you getting if you go from monthly basic to yearly basic? You get all of the bonuses from today, except for the concierge onboarding and the group coaching calls. Those are only for pro. So every single bonus that we're offering today, you're going to get those, and all you have to do is switch from monthly to annual. And that means that you pay less. You get saved 2 months, which means that your effective monthly payment goes from like $40 to $33. So someone's asking, how do you manage customer support? So Regina, when you have, Jolyn, Regina's already answering that in the chat. If I'm doing it by myself, I try to handle a community. If I have a VA, then they can like do some submissions. Okay, so Joanne, yes, I figured to have my first course at half price and give away a few scholarships. Have those wanting scholarships earn points for bringing other people. Yeah, exactly. So sometimes, even if someone is paying half price, if they refer 4 other people, then they can pay for themselves easily. And actually, Teachable has a built-in affiliate program where people can automatically get revenue sharing from referring people to your course. And we can even do automatic payouts for that. So it's pretty exciting. Carlos is upgraded.
Ooh,
awesome, Carlos. Virtual high five and real high five. Lori says, onboarding, how long do we have access to the service? Lori, you can take advantage of it whenever you want, as long as you are on that pro plan. So you don't have to do this in any particular time, at any particular time scale. There's no like clock that's ticking down right now. Just as long as you're on the pro plan, you will have access to that onboarding. You can schedule your 2 sessions at your leisure.
Here's one for Regina. When do you know whether to have several small courses or one large course, assuming each mini course content is related? So kind of how like you have your courses, then you have your program, like you're saying.
Yeah, I think that's great. Jeffrey, love that question. I personally have like a predetermined point in my mind where if we like say, for example, you've made a full outline of what you want your eventual master course or program to include, and you know that you can break that down into, let's say, 10 mini courses. I have a point in my mind ahead of time where I know after 5 of them have been created, this is now useful enough as one unit to start selling it as one unit. So that number actually might be 3 for you. That might be all 10, or it might be 5 or 6. Typically, I think if you're halfway through, you're going to make it to the finish line. So you have 5 mini courses and you have more planned. You might want to start selling it as one big thing so that customers can save time and hassle. Typically, people like to just purchase all at once if they can afford to do so, or get on a payment plan for everything at once instead of trickling in, courses over time. But you can always leave it as an option. I don't sell any of my units separately right now, but every so often I'll just give one away as a way to like encourage, whatever, signups, whatever it might be. I'll just give one away, or I may price one separately. So you can kind of have the best of both worlds if you have the full program and then have individual prices on the many things. But I would say just pick a number that makes sense to you to where the full program is helpful for people. So probably when you're halfway done, that would just be my thought.
Thanks so much, Regina. And I'm going to say, while we still have more than 400 people here, if you haven't already, please join our private instructor Facebook group. I'm going to pretend to be Jess because I'm using her computer. I'm just going to spam that link in there a bunch of times. We've got more than 19,000 people on that Facebook group. So please join us. It's an incredible resource. Join our private instructor Facebook group, the Teachable Tribe.
It's such a good group. I go there like when I want to talk about courses or ask questions or ask opinions or whatever, I go to that group like specifically. I love it.
Oh, Will had a really good question. If you upgraded to our annual pro plan or annual basic plan during the summit, you will get all of these recordings included in that bundle. So little extra there.
So Theo says, how do you handle a scheduled course you might be too sick to do or otherwise unavailable? I think it's the same way you'd handle like anything where you're unavailable to perform an obligation. First of all, you have to be honest. So you write to your students, you say, oh, I cannot do this because of this, this, and this. You might give them a way out if it's a very long delay. Like if you've come down with like something terrible, you won't be available for months. You should offer a no questions asked refund or a partial refund for people who want to stick around, that kind of stuff. So it's just like anything else. You have to make it right to the people that you're inconveniencing. Make it right for the people that you're inconveniencing. And I think that you should get, it's pretty easy. Okay, so Krista, I really want to upgrade, but not yet ready to build courses. I need to build a list. Krista, actually, I might let Regina handle this, but Regina, how do you feel about using courses to build the list?
I love that concept personally, especially if you're thinking about courses as a business model, then starting to create them as a way to build your list is great. So for example, I didn't tell this in my thing, but if you guys upgraded, you'll see this in my course that's a part of the bundle. Download my 60-page case study. What I did was I actually used a course. It was a 90-day course that I offered for free, and it was the way I built my list. And I eventually took that 90-day course and just turned it into my first really profitable paid course that I released maybe 8 months after my brand. And that first launch was maybe like 17K in profit. It was about 22K in revenue. And it was crazy because I had built the content of the course in releasing this course to build my list, but I had also built the list in releasing this course to build my list. That was a lot of words. You guys get the point. I used it for free at first, and then I changed it into the paid product and did that all within a few months. And that's something I highly, highly, highly recommend, is not looking at them as separate activities, but looking at educating your audience as the same as attracting your audience onto your list or onto your Instagram, etc.
That's great. And have you ever discounted your courses or charged a certain price and then made it cheaper later on?
I've never made a course cheaper later on. Not that you can't do that, but I'd love to say that the price of the course is, for example, $800, but during its initial release, the course might be $550. And so that's a way for me to test out pricing, because what I'll do is I'll see how many people are buying at $550, and then I will, increase the price a little bit until it gets to that eventual price that I had in mind. Or sometimes I never put it up as high as I thought I was because the sales aren't exactly coming in like I wanted them to. So then I just leave it at a lower price.
Nice.
So Drew says, can Teachable support a subscriber as being part of like a lifetime membership? You get all access to your courses current and future. Yes, you can absolutely do that. So you can do what we call like a membership, where you basically use a feature we call bundling to bundle together everything in your school. So as an example, there's a Photoshop instructor named Dave Cross. He's been teaching Photoshop for 25 years. He has literally hundreds of courses on his Teachable site, but his biggest revenue driver is selling access to everything. So it's $150 a year or $15 a month. So actually curious, Regina, what are your thoughts on like the selling individual courses versus having the membership? Like where have you found that to be?
So I think it depends a lot on the industry, and I'm sorry, I was responding in the chat again, so I hope I heard the full question. I think it depends a lot on your industry. So if you're in an industry that has had a lot of online courses happening over the last, several months or a year. So like, for example, online marketing, there are a lot of courses, and people are now kind of trending towards wanting more of an ongoing kind of support system. So your memberships or something that comes with a community is typically going to be a little more attractive to people who've already been sold courses for a long time. If you're in a different industry, or if the amount of time that you have to devote to your course-based business is a little smaller due to other obligations, then I would recommend doing kind of this one-off product that is very easy to understand, the best order to go through it in, so that people can really self-direct their learning and not try to do something where you're creating new content each month. Also, you guys, if you're considering a membership or a one-off course and you don't actually love creating like writing, or you don't love creating videos, but you really do want to teach a certain concept, try the one-off course at first and really work out how you best teach. Is it recording audio? Is it sucking it up and shooting a screencast video? But don't put yourself in a situation where you're going to have to create a ton of content month over month if you haven't gotten into a flow, or if you don't really enjoy it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense. Thanks so much, Regina. So actually 2 questions. Joel says, and John J were asking this question. If I want to upgrade to basic annual, what happens to your course if you don't pay next year? Well, John, we delete all your courses. We send all your users an email saying, John is a terrible person. No, I'm just kidding. Your courses stick around. What happens is you would lose access to paid features. It's like if you're using a custom domain, that would go away. But your courses themselves, all the content, it stays right there. Users can continue to access it. But again, all the paid features are going to go away. And here's a good question from Andrew Smith about location-based pricing. Like, can I automatically show, like, if someone comes in from Pakistan, can I show them like their course in Pakistani currency? If someone comes in from the US, can I show them in dollars, etc. So you can add basically as many prices as you want to your course on Teachable. So you can have a pounds price, a euros price, a dinars price, an Indian rupees price, etc. But it doesn't work like they show up from India and they get the Indian price, from the US they see the US price. They would show up on the page and they would select the price that matches their country. Now, if you don't want them to see that there are other prices available, if you have a few countries in mind they're marketing to, it's very easy to duplicate your course. That's just one button press, and that'll create a copy which you can price in pounds for the UK version, and then a copy that you can price in euros for the EU version. And yes, the EU and the UK are now separate versions. Womp womp. But that's pretty easy to set up. So we see people doing both things. Jojo, I see on Monday there's a panel discussion using video in courses. I'm envisioning that a course is all video. What else is in a class? So Jojo, on top of video, you might have resources like downloadable PDFs. You might have audio files for people who want to listen to the lessons, while they're driving. You might have PDFs with like deep dives into topics that you can't cover in like an hour-long video or whatever. So Regina, I'm curious, outside of videos in your courses, what kind of, other materials have you found to be really like useful? Like resources, audio for people like listening? Like, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing I'm doing, was that Kathy who asked that question? One thing I've been doing lately that people really enjoy is creating the whole course as a PDF sometimes. So there's one course that I have that's a literal 253-page book that has the quiz built in, it has images and graphics built in, and then it has all the text built in and worksheets built in all in one book so that you can just consume it like that. And so I have it in different sections inside my Teachable school. You can download 50 pages at a time, 60 pages, or the whole thing. So I found that to be effective. Also, one thing that myself and a few of my clients are doing is trying to create the everything version of every lesson for certain courses. And what I mean by that is creating as a text-based lesson, but then recording a video, and recording the video in such a way that you can separate the audio file and make it just an audio download. Because what I found in my industry is a lot of people like to listen to it while they're on their commute, or maybe on their lunch break at work. They like to listen and take a little bit of action. So spreading things out into little 10-minute, 20-minute segments can be a really great idea. But I've seen audio be really popular, even though I don't like audio as a way to consume. My audience does, so I make it now. And then, yeah, just text-based lesson with images, because people, again, can either print it out or use it on screen, but it allows them to go through it in at their own pace and their own time, and not worry about having to plug in headphones to consume the content. So I hope that answered your question.
Yeah.
All right, thanks so much.
That's awesome.
So looking in the chat, I'm seeing a few more questions. So hello, everyone says, how long are replays from the summit going to be available? So the replays from the summit are going to be available for free for a limited time. I think it's like about a week, right? Something like that. And then after that, I think just under a week. Okay. Then after that, the replays go away forever. And the only way you can get access to them is to pay us $200 or to sign up as part of this Teachable Summit. Like, that's it. I'm sorry. There's a lot of value in these, as you're kind of discovering. So we can't give these away for free forever as much as we'd like to. So after the summit, unless you've upgraded as part of the summit, you won't have access. Sorry about that. Not really much I can say. We're a business. We charge for things. That's how we make money.
If you're in the annual plan, like if you've upgraded, you'll get full access, of course.
Kathy, I started with German. Foreign language is a very slow process. To learn German in 5 minutes a day is just BS. Agreed, Kathy. My mom is a Spanish teacher, so I understand it's total BS. But as you said, like, you are here to like help people start up their German. So since you are coming from kind of like a place of authority here, that's what makes people recognize you. So Ashley is asking about having a second admin. Yes, you'd have to be on the basic plan to add a second admin. Jolyn says, is the summit annual? So Jolyn, we have a summit in May and a summit in November. Okay. So I hope you're marking your calendars already for sometime in May. We haven't set the date yet, but there'll be another summit in May. We're looking forward to that. Corey, a replay would be nice for those of us for whom this presentation never loaded. I agree, Corey, and that's why you're going to get an email with a replay. Though I don't know if you're going to hear me because you say this presentation never loaded, but it's a standard YouTube video, so I don't really know what's going on. Beth, is there a yearly renewal cost? Yes, Beth. Like it's an annual plan. You pay us annually. We need a recurring subscription in order to pay for our office and our employees and our engineers who build the site and our hosting bills and all the stuff that provides you with a service. If anyone is ever selling you like a lifetime plan, like, oh, it's only $200, you get lifetime access to this whole software suite, guess what? I think that their lifetime is going to be a little bit shorter than you might think. Okay, so Kathy says, oh wait, that's about something else. Tim, where can we access the replays? Tim, you should be getting emails about those automatically. If you're not seeing those, just drop us a line, support@teachable.com.
And let us know, guys, when you're upgrading. Type in the chat so we can still do our welcomes.
So Ashley, can you set up pay splits between the admins? So Ashley, the pay splits between the admins is only possible on the pro plan. So the pro plan allows you to split up the payment. The basic plan, you would have to like get paid yourself and then send your co-admin the money like however you want, normally via PayPal. Joana Lopez says, Regina, tú eres muy linda. And I feel like I have to read that in that accent. Hi from Calgary. Hi from Calgary says, Carolyn just got basic pro, but got this message. Thank you for upgrading to free. So Calgary, that is not the message you're supposed to see. So please drop us a line, support@teachable.com. We'll check our back end. We'll make sure everything is ship shape. Don't worry if there was like a bug. We'll make sure that everything gets resolved and that you get any bonuses that you were entitled to. Okay. Ashley Clayton, you okay there, Cameron? Yes. Did I do something? Yeah, I'm fine.
Keep with this chat.
Okay, so yeah, Juana, see Regina's response above. All right, and we're actually getting close to the end here. It's 3:50 p.m. And oh, Jay says, will you have to pay for multiple versions for currencies? No, that is built right in. Joanne dropped a link to support 2 days ago, still no link to bonus. Joanne, we get back to people normally within an hour. That's very concerning for me to hear. It makes me think something went wrong. So Joanne, do you have a ticket ID? Drop a link, like let us know the ticket ID in the chat. And after we leave, I'll go ahead and check with our customer care team the status of that. So if you have a ticket ID, drop that in the chat. Oh, Ashley, I have reoccurring hiccups. Sorry about that. Like occasionally hear me in the office and it's like, yep. And everyone starts laughing at me. They're not bullies. It's just funny. Hi from Calgary, support@teachable.com or teachable.com/help. So again, support@teachable.com or teachable.com/help. Stacy, if your payment window won't let you click the final button, make sure you filled out all the fields, including selecting the state. Okay, make sure to do that. And if it's still not letting you click the button, just copy the URL. Copy the URL that you're in, open up another browser and try again. Hi from Carolyn support. Calgary, it's Carolyn. Support@teachable.com. The email is support@teachable.com or teachable.com/help.
Great. And also, like, guys, can we just give one final shout out to Regina too? Regina, you've gone above and beyond. She's been here for a long time. So can we all say thank you? I know people have gotten a lot from this. Really appreciate it. Please keep us posted on social media. If you're in the Facebook tribe, let us know what you're learning from this and the action that you take, the results that you get. So big thank you to Regina. Regina, we're gonna let you go because you've been here for a while. But super grateful for this. Thank you so much for sharing all this information. So yeah, we'll say a big thank you to Regina.
Thank you. I'll see you guys in the Teachable Tribe, the Facebook group. So bye, y'all.
I'll just spam another link in there again. So thank you again, Regina, and we'll see you around.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, Stacy upgraded to Pro.
Awesome, Stacy. Virtual high five, real high five. And now that Regina has gone, I think that we'll stick around just for like 1 or 2 more minutes. So maybe 2 more questions. I know I could stick around here forever, but
well, we have to get ready for, I have to get ready for 6 p.m. Eastern. In 2 hours, we have an amazing panel. So don't miss that.
Go, Stacy. Go Stacy.
Go Stacy. Oh, we should do a little dance there.
Natalie, what's the name of the Teachable Facebook group? Natalie, I'll drop that link in for you again, just a few more times. So it's called the Teachable Tribe, but the link says the Fedora family because Facebook won't let me change that. So Joanne, we have your ticket ID written down. As soon as we're done with this, I'm going to go over to the customer care team and ask them to check into the status of that.
V, you've asked my favorite question. How many courses can you have on a school?
Unlimited. That was like, well, we didn't even plan that. It was great.
It's in a musical.
Jen, if you're hanging around for my dancing, you are going to be very disappointed. I am a real white guy dancer here. And Jess is actually a professional dancer. So
used to be.
Come on.
In a former life.
You still got it in you. So I do think that it is about time for us to wrap this up. Oh, the Aaron Zweig says, until which day will this be available, the offer? Our summit ends, was it Tuesday or Wednesday?
On Tuesday.
Tuesday, yeah.
Tuesday's the last session.
Oh, Joanna says, what style of dance?
I did jazz musical theater. But thank you.
Oh yeah, there are some pictures out there. I won't say any more. All right, so I wanted to end actually by thanking everyone. First of all, I want to thank Regina again.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to thank you because, you know, if it weren't for you guys, this summit would be nothing but a bunch of people talking to an empty room. Yeah. And honestly, there are lots and lots of steps to creating your online course. And you guys have done the first one. The first one is actually wanting to do it, and the first one is actually learning more. There are so many people out there interested in online courses, but not many people who will actually take the time out of their day to come and learn something new. So on behalf of myself
and Jess
and everyone else here at the Teachable team, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day. And for many of you, hope to see you in just a few hours.
Yep, 6 p.m. Eastern.
See you around, guys.